The void awakens. The human fleet drifted silently in the endless dark of space. Their lights, small sparks against the black ocean of stars. Every ship bore scars from battles long past. Their hulls battered, engines flickering, and morale lower than ever. Commander Alara Voss stood on the bridge of the last intact frigate, her eyes scanning the endless void, searching for any sign of hope. Every transmission from the scattered fleet had been lost, and every colony they had once protected now whispered rumors of extinction. Fear had wrapped itself around every heart, cold and heavy. Alara clenched her fists as she stared at the holographic display showing only darkness and drifting wrecks. "We are alone," whispered Lieutenant Rin, his voice trembling. "The fleet is gone. The colonies are gone. Everything we fought for, gone." Alara did not answer, but deep inside, she refused to believe it. Humanity had survived impossible odds before, and she knew it could do so again, even if the universe seemed ready to swallow them whole. The silence of space was broken suddenly by a faint signal, flickering on the old long-range sensors like a candle in the wind. It was weak, almost lost in the cosmic noise, but unmistakably human. The crew gathered around the console, eyes wide with disbelief. "Is this possible?" muttered Engineer Kale, tracing the signal across the star charts. It led to a remote star system far beyond the reach of human patrols, a place thought abandoned and forgotten. Alara felt a spark of hope ignite within her chest. "This could be our chance," she said, voice steady but urgent. "There is something out there, something waiting for us." The crew exchanged nervous glances, fear still lingering, but hope dangerous. Thrilling hope began to take root. For months they had been running, hiding, surviving, and now, perhaps, they could fight, not just for survival, but for revenge and for humanity itself. The journey to the distant system was treacherous, full of debris fields, dying stars, and the constant shadow of alien patrols. Each day was a test of endurance, the crew working in shifts, engines humming, shields flickering, hearts beating with anticipation and dread. They shared stories of Earth, of colonies long gone, and of heroes who had fallen. The laughter was scarce, but it returned sometimes, fragile but real, like light breaking through thick clouds. At night, when the ship floated silently past a distant nebula, Alara would stand at the viewport and gaze at the stars, thinking of the millions who had already been lost. She remembered the tales her grandfather had told her, of humanity reaching the stars, of courage and sacrifice. It seemed almost impossible that now, in this void, they were the last to carry that legacy. Yet, she knew they had no choice, for if they failed, there would be no one left to remember what humans were capable of. As the system drew closer, the signal grew stronger, pulsing like a heartbeat in the darkness. The crew held their breath, unsure of what they would find. The unknown loomed like a predator, yet within that uncertainty was the first true glimmer of hope they had felt in years. Alara tightened her grip on the command rail, determination shining in her eyes. "Prepare the ship," she ordered. "We are going to find it, and we are going to rise from this darkness." Somewhere in the distance, hidden among the stars, the lost warship waited, silent, ancient, and powerful, a ghost of human ingenuity, a weapon and a symbol, waiting for the ones brave enough to reach it. As the fleet moved closer, the void seemed to hum with anticipation. The story of humanity was far from over, and the first chapter of their final stand was about to begin. Journey through the endless dark. The human crew sailed deeper into the void, their ship cutting through black waves of stars like a lone redditor. Each day stretched endlessly, filled with tension, repairs, and the quiet fear that at any moment, alien scouts might appear from the shadows. The distant signal guided them, faint but persistent, as if calling them toward something forgotten yet powerful. Lieutenant Rin navigated the charts with steady hands, yet his jaw was tight, a mix of hope and anxiety twisting inside him. "Captain, sensors detect debris fields ahead," warned Engineer Kale, pointing at the holographic map. Jagged shapes drifting slowly in the darkness, ancient wrecks, could be ships lost decades ago. Alara studied the shapes, her mind racing. "Prepare shields and evasive thrusters," she commanded. "We cannot afford to lose anyone now." The crew moved with precision, though whispers of doubt floated among them, some questioning whether the journey was worth the risk. As they entered the debris field, the ship shuddered violently, the hull groaning under pressure. Sparks flew across the engineering bay, and alarms rang sharply. "Hold steady," Alara shouted, gripping the command rail, her voice cutting through panic. Every maneuver was critical. One wrong move could crush them against a floating ruin, or leave them stranded in the middle of endless darkness. Yet the crew worked together, hearts pounding, minds focused, their fear tempered by determination. Hours passed, and finally, they emerged on the other side, the debris field shrinking behind them like a fading nightmare. But the journey was far from over, and danger lurked closer than they realized. Strange energy readings appeared on the sensors, flickering and pulsing with alien technology. "What is that?" Kale muttered, adjusting the scanners. "It doesn't match any human signature." Rin leaned over, frowning. "It's like it's alive." The closer they moved to the signal, the more signs of previous human attempts appeared. Derelict ships drifting like ghosts, messages looping endlessly in abandoned comm channels. Each relic told a story of struggle and defeat, sending chills down the crew's spines. "This was not an easy path," Alara said quietly, her eyes scanning the broken ships. "Others came before us, and failed, but we are still here, and we must not fail." Some crew members nodded, finding courage in her words. Others remained silent, still haunted by doubt. Suddenly, sensors flared red, warning of an approaching alien patrol. The crew froze, the tension snapping like a drawn wire. "They've found us," whispered Rin. "We have to move now, or we are done." Alara made a quick decision, plotting a course through a nearby asteroid field, hoping the aliens would follow blindly. The engines roared as the ship weaved between massive rocks, lasers streaking past them, narrowly missing hull and thrusters. Every second was a gamble, but human skill and instinct kept them alive. When the patrol finally gave up, retreating into the darkness, the crew let out a long, shaky breath, relief washing over them, though it was tempered by exhaustion. They had survived the first real test of their journey, but the void offered no rest. Only more uncertainty, more debris, more alien encounters, and the ever-present question, would they reach the lost ship in time, or would the darkness consume them first? At night, as the stars drifted silently past the viewport, the crew whispered among themselves, telling stories of home, of Earth and colonies now lost, and of dreams that had not yet died. Hope flickered like a fragile flame, small but alive, pushing them onward. Alara stood alone for a moment, staring at the distant system where the signal pulsed, a heartbeat in the void. She clenched her fists, determination burning inside her. "We will reach it," she promised herself, no matter the cost. Somewhere ahead, hidden in the black ocean of space, the ghostly warship waited, silent, ancient, and powerful, its secrets locked away, ready for the humans brave enough to claim them. The journey through the endless dark was far from over, but with courage, skill, and hope, they might survive, and awaken the force that could turn despair into victory. The ghost ship, the distant system, grew larger on the viewport, stars shimmering coldly as the crew approached the hidden coordinates of the lost warship. Excitement mixed with fear, every heart pounding as if sensing the history and power lying dormant among the asteroids. "There it is," whispered Rin, pointing at the massive silhouette, a shadow in the darkness, barely visible but unmistakably human. A ship thought lost for centuries, colossal, armored, and humming with ancient energy, waited silently in the void. Alara felt her breath catch, awe and fear fighting within her. This is bigger than anything we imagined," she murmured, her eyes locked on the ghostly vessel. "It's beautiful and dangerous." The crew gathered at the bridge, silence stretching as they studied the massive ship, its hull scarred but intact, shields dormant yet faintly glowing. As if asleep and waiting to awaken, Kale activated the long-range scanners, detecting traces of alien biotech scattered along the hull. "Some of the systems are infected," he warned. "We need to be careful." The ship's AI, ancient and damaged, emitted faint signals, struggling to communicate, flickering words appearing on the displays. "Welcome, humans unknown," it whispered, broken and garbled, sending shivers down the crew's spines. Boarding the warship was a tense ordeal, every corridor dark and silent, the hum of dormant machinery echoing through vast chambers. Shadows moved strangely along the walls, remnants of alien interference, or perhaps the ship's own corrupted systems. Crew members worked in pairs, weapons ready, scanning every corner, each step heavy with caution and anticipation. Yet, as they ventured deeper, the ship seemed to recognize them, ancient doors opening automatically, power surging faintly, guiding them toward the command center. Inside the bridge, the crew finally activated the core systems. sparks flying and panels lighting up after centuries of silence. The AI flickered to life fully, its voice metallic but commanding. "Humans, authorized, mission restart." Ilara stepped forward, her voice firm. "We are ready to fight for humanity, to reclaim what was lost." The ship seemed to respond, humming with energy, weapons systems calibrating, shields strengthening, a sleeping giant slowly awakening. But the revival came with danger. The alien scouts that had been tracking their approach suddenly appeared on long-range sensors, sleek and deadly, intent on destroying the ancient human warship before it could become a threat. Panic flared briefly, but the crew steadied themselves. Knowing the ship's weapons were powerful yet untested, Rin gripped the targeting console, Kale prepared the energy conduits, and Ilara gave a single command: "We fight." Now, the first alien ships struck, lasers slicing through the darkness, but the warship responded with precision. Ancient cannons firing with devastating power, shields absorbing the impact, energy coursing through every deck like a heartbeat. The crew worked as one, learning the rhythm of the ghost ship, discovering its quirks, and mastering its power. It was as if the ship itself remembered humanity's courage, awakening fully only because they believed in it. Hours passed in a blur of fire and energy. Each attack countered, each maneuver executed with skill and precision. The crew began to feel hope, real and tangible, coursing through their veins. They were no longer just survivors. They were warriors of a forgotten age, reclaiming a weapon that could turn the tide of the war. Yet, even as victory seemed within reach, a new danger loomed, something larger and deadlier waiting beyond the shadows, ready to test their courage and the ghost ship's full power. Ilara stood at the bridge, eyes scanning the stars, her mind focused. "We've found our strength," she said quietly, determination burning in her chest. "But the real fight is coming, somewhere in the void." The lost warship hummed with life, its power ancient and unstoppable, a promise that humanity might rise again from the endless darkness. Rising from the ashes, the ghost ship moved through the void like a living shadow, its engines humming with power, weapons systems glowing as the crew prepared for the battles ahead. Alien patrols approached, sleek and deadly, expecting an easy kill. But they had underestimated the humans. Ilara's eyes burned with determination as she gripped the command rail. "We fight not just for survival, but for humanity itself," she commanded, her voice steady and strong. The first wave of alien ships attacked, lasers streaking through the darkness, but the warship responded with unmatched precision. Cannons fired in perfect synchronization, shields flaring as energy met energy. Each crew member had found their rhythm, moving as one with the ship, their fear replaced by focus and determination. Kale channeled power to the main guns, Rin guided evasive maneuvers, and every action felt like a dance between life and death. Explosions lit the darkness as alien ships shattered against the warship's firepower. Yet victory was not easy. The enemy adapted quickly, sending faster, more dangerous fighters, forcing the humans to think, react, and sacrifice. Crew members risked themselves in daring repairs and boarding maneuvers, proving that courage and ingenuity could match even the deadliest technology. Ilara watched them with pride, knowing that each decision could mean life or death, yet trusting in their skill. As the battle raged, the ship's AI began to integrate with the crew's commands, learning their strategies, anticipating attacks. Becoming more than just a tool, it became an ally. The warship's power grew with every encounter, shields regenerating faster, weapons firing with deadly accuracy, and engines responding to thought and instinct. Humanity had taken a lost relic and breathed life back into it, turning it into a weapon of legend. Even so, the aliens were relentless, sending a massive strike force, the largest fleet the humans had faced since the beginning of the war. The crew's hearts pounded, adrenaline surging as they prepared for the fight of their lives. "Hold steady," Ilara shouted. "Trust the ship, trust each other, we can win this." Every maneuver was daring, every shot precise. As humans and machine worked in perfect harmony, the odds stacked impossibly against them. The battle reached its peak when the warship unleashed a devastating volley. Tearing through the alien formations, the crew saw hope flicker in the midst of chaos, a chance to reclaim the stars from those who sought to destroy humanity. Yet the victory was tempered by sacrifice. As brave crew members risked everything to save the ship, their courage a reminder that even in the darkest moments, humanity could rise. After hours of relentless combat, the alien forces began to retreat, battered and broken. The warship floated among the remnants of destroyed enemy vessels, energy crackling along its hull like a heartbeat. The crew exhaled, relief washing over them, but their eyes remained on the stars ahead, knowing the final confrontation awaited. The alien command ship, massive and deadly, loomed somewhere in the darkness. The last test of their strength and courage. Ilara stood on the bridge, the hum of the ship beneath her feet like a living pulse. "We have risen from the ashes," she said quietly, determination shining in her eyes. "But our fight is not over. The real battle is ahead, and we will face it together, somewhere beyond the stars." The warship waited, alive and ready, humanity's last hope, burning brighter than ever. Humanity's last stand. The alien command ship appeared on the horizon, massive and dark, its engines glowing like molten fire. A shadow of destruction stretched across the stars as the humans prepared for the final battle. The ghost ship hummed with power beneath their feet, ancient energy coursing through every deck, responding to the crew's determination and courage. Ilara stood at the bridge, eyes fixed on the enemy. "This is it," she said, voice steady. "The fate of humanity depends on us." The first strike came swiftly, alien lasers slicing through space, but the warship responded instantly, shields flaring, energy beams striking the command ship's hull. Explosions lit the void as the battle erupted. Faster and more deadly than any before, the crew moved as one, every member performing their role flawlessly. Kale managing the weapons, Rin guiding evasive maneuvers, engineers racing to repair damage, each heartbeat synchronized with the ship's pulse. The alien command ship unleashed wave after wave of fighters, its power immense, but humans were relentless. Using speed, strategy, and ingenuity, they turned the warship into a storm of destruction. Ancient weapons fired with devastating force, cutting through enemy ranks. Yet the crew knew the true challenge was yet to come. The alien ship was more than a fleet. It was a fortress, a symbol of dominance that had to fall for humanity to survive. As the battle raged, the crew faced moments of despair, close calls, and near sacrifices. Yet courage and ingenuity shone brightest in darkness. Every decision counted. Every action could save lives or cost them. The ghost ship's AI and humans worked as one, predicting attacks, finding weak points, and striking with precision. The humans were no longer just survivors. They had become warriors, champions of a legacy older than the stars themselves. Finally, after hours of relentless combat, the crew discovered a critical weakness in the alien command ship. "There," shouted Rin, pointing at a glowing energy core. "Hit it now, or we are done." Ilara nodded, her hand firm on the control. "All power to the main cannons. Fire on my mark." The ship roared, energy beams converging on the core. The alien vessel shuddering violently, sparks flying, metal tearing, and finally, with a massive explosion, it broke apart, drifting silently into the void. Victory was hard-earned and costly, but the crew had survived. The ghost ship floated among the debris, energy still humming, alive and unbroken. Humanity had reclaimed its place among the stars, proving that even in the darkest void, courage and determination could overcome impossible odds. Ilara looked at her crew, battered but alive, their eyes shining with relief and pride. "We did it," she said softly. "We rose when all hope was lost." As the humans drifted away from the battlefield, stars shining around them, they knew the war was far from over. Yet a new legend had begun, a story of survival, courage, and the indomitable spirit of humanity. The ghost ship, ancient and powerful, would sail with them, a symbol of hope and strength for generations to come. In the endless dark, humans had carved their mark, and the void would never forget. Ilara stood at the bridge, gazing at the stars, a quiet smile on her face. "This is only the beginning," she whispered, determination blazing. "Humanity will rise. Always, somewhere in the infinite expanse." The warship pulsed with life, carrying the last hope of humanity into the future, ready for whatever darkness might come.